to be educated, but I'm so frustrated.
Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Hey, thanks to the members and subscribers on this channel. Love you guys. Hey, today we're going to get into something that's long overdue. Man, to some of you guys, this band may be a little bit obscure. Sun, that band right there, man, I just remember them back in the day. They used to keep us jumping in school, man. When we'd have a party or some pep rallies and stuff like that, they'd go crazy with that.
Yeah, bruh. I might not know all the funk, but I know those guys.
What you know about that, man?
We're here. The sun is here. See?
Oh, okay. All right, I see what you're talking about. Where'd you learn that stuff from?
Oh, I've been checking out the Funk Center channel out of Ohio. You ought to let the viewer know to go check them out too.
Oh, yeah, man.
Yeah, man. They're trying to keep the funk alive. For real. Like you, Mr. Mindset.
Hey, I tell you what, I should have learned a lot from them. In fact, I want to say thank you to the Funk Center for allowing me to use their interviews in this video I'm about to do. You know what I mean? There's a lot to this band, man, and you need all the help you can get. You know what I mean? Hey, so we're going to get into this story, man. I'm not going to take any more of your time. Hang around to the end. You got a lot to learn, man. It's a little bit more in depth than you think it is about this band.
We're here! We're here!
Yeah, brothers and sisters, to really get into Sun, we have to once again start in Dayton, Ohio, the land of funk. And on this channel by now, you should already know, this city produced more legends per square mile than anywhere else on this big blue marble we live on. It was here, in the heart of that energy, that Mr. Byron Byrd, a young multi-instrumentalist and aspiring aerospace engineer, began shaping a band that would become something special, something bigger than just a local group. Byron Byrd was no ordinary band leader. He was a research science man with serious aspirations. Imagine that, y'all. A man who could calculate the trajectory of a rocket, but chose to map out horn arrangements and grooves that made people move. That dual vision, the technical mind and the musical soul, would guide Sun from day one. But before Sun, Byron led a group called the Ohio Majestics, which later evolved into a band named Overnight Low. That was a local Dayton R&B and funk group where Byron first started experimenting with horn arrangements, rhythm sections, and vocal harmonies. They were grinding through local clubs, opening for the OJs and the Spinners, learning how to hold a crowd, and sharpening their skills in the trenches of the Dayton scene. Sean Sandridge remembers that the standards in those Dayton talent shows were as high as the Apollo Theater.
The audience, when I was coming up in high school, they were very demanding.
Sure.
So if you got up and didn't sound right, you get booed, throw stuff. They did not fool around.
But in 1974, the drama hit. The heavyweights in town, the Ohio Players, were riding high with hits like Fire and Love Roller Coaster, and they came knocking for talent. They recruited two of Byron's key members, James Diamond Williams on drums and Marvin Merv Pierce on brass. Can you imagine the weight of that crap? You build a unit, you find a pocket, and one of the biggest bands in the world takes your foundation. That could have crushed a lesser band, but Byron Byrd did not fold. He rebuilt by quickly bringing in new players, tightening the band, and proving they could still deliver on stage, strong enough to get a gig to open the show where Mandrill headlined. It was after that performance at the Ohio Theater in Columbus that Bo Ray Fleming, a record producer known for discovering talent in the Midwest, saw Byron's group and offered to come on and give guidance. The first name floated for the band was Celestial Sun, but the group trimmed it down to one powerful syllable, Sun, inspired by what Byron called a universally accepted symbol of energy. The name carried ambition, power, and a cosmic reach that would define their sound. Blown away by that sound, Fleming also insisted Byron get his demo tapes into the hands of Capitol Records. So Fleming set up a meeting, giving Byron a chance to prove Sun could deliver both in the studio and on stage. By late 1975, Byron Byrd found himself sitting in his business office at the First National Plaza in Dayton, meeting with Capitol Records executive Larkin Arnold, who had just flown in. Byrd sat across from Larkin and tried to make excuses as to why his band wasn't available. Larkin felt insulted that he wasted time coming, but Byrd convinced him to listen to those demo tapes anyway, trying to be cool and keep his poker face straight because he was selling a vision of a powerhouse band, while in reality he was actually a general without an army. And he knew if Larkin sensed even a whiff of the struggle, the deal would vanish into thin air.
It was hard for me to tell him that we couldn't do an audition because we didn't have a group. And for years, he never found out we didn't have a group at the time.
To pull off this high-stakes bluff, Byron had to move fast and use the best tools available in Dayton. He reached out to his friends, the Troutman brothers, to act as his secret studio weapon. Byron brought in Lester Troutman on drums and Roger Troutman on bass and guitar, who you should already know, because they later became part of the legendary band Zapp. Byron was using the Troutmans' elite musicianship to build the Sun sound on wax, while he worked behind the scenes to find the permanent faces that could represent the brand on stage. Roger even added early talkbox touches in the studio on the debut single that would come out. These contributions gave the record a heavy Dayton flavor while setting Sun apart on the R&B charts. So in February 1976, the debut album, Live On, Dream On, had arrived. And Wanna Make Love, also known as Come Flick My Bic, climbed to number 31 on the Billboard R&B chart. That was Sun announcing themselves to the world. The horns, the groove, and Roger's studio work all said this band had arrived. But as the record climbed the charts, the pressure was on. Capitol Records wanted a touring unit, and Byron was still holding on to his secret. He spent those months scrapping through the Dayton scene, handpicking a squad of hungry young lions who could execute the vision he had sold to Larkin. He drilled these new recruits night and day, making sure they were tight enough to step into the shoes of the studio players. By the time Larkin Arnold finally saw the group, the transition was seamless. The Ghost Band had become flesh and blood, and Larkin never knew that the brotherhood he saw on stage was a unit Byron had just finished building from the ground up. By 1977, Sun Power came out on bold orange vinyl, a visual and sonic statement. The band had grown into a powerful unit for that era, featuring Byron Byrd, Chris Jones on vocals, Dean Hummins on keyboards, Kim Yancey on drums, John Hampton Wagner on trumpet, Sean Sandridge on guitar, Gary King percussion and brass, Ernie Knisley percussion and brass, Hollis Melson on bass, and Bruce Hastel on guitar. Tracks like Boogie Bopper and the instrumental We Are So Hot showed their ability to party, but the real masterpiece was this one here. Time is passing. 7 minutes of R&B sophistication, romantic sax, floating strings and flute lines, jazzy chords and smooth textures that, believe it or not, would be later appreciated by hip-hop and R&B producers digging for samples. That was the kind of song that showed Sun could groove and think at the same time. Then came the turmoil of 1978. Now, you would think having hit records and a major label deal would be the glue that holds a group together, but in the cold-blooded music industry, success can be just as dangerous as failure. With a large band, the money gets thin and the egos get thick. Disputes over the direction of the sound and the split of the publishing started to tear at the seams. By the time it was time to record the next album, the house had been cleaned. The unit that had found a way to conquer the R&B charts had splintered, leaving Byron Byrd and Kim Yancey from the previous crew. Ernie Knisley, who had been a percussionist and sax man in the previous lineup, proved his loyalty and stepped up as a key pillar in the new foundation. Byron then went back to the Dayton streets to find the specialized talent he needed to keep the flame alive. He brought in Curtis Hooks on bass, Sonny Talbert and Keith Cheatham in new roles, Robert Arnold and Nigel Boulton to round out the sound. The band would now put out the Sunburn album that produced more funk hits. This was the album where they really fell on my radar, in the summer before high school. First, it was a sophisticated mid-tempo ballad that showed Byron could write for the heart just as well as the feet.
I had a choice, and I chose wrong.
They gave us I Had a Choice.
I made a promise, girl, to leave it alone.
This was the song every kid fell in love with, and we didn't even know why at the time. Maybe it was that catchy hook or just the innocent vibe of the record. But down south, this was the jam. But don't think that was it. They had a monster coming. Man, it's the summer of '78. I am a kid at a teen dance that night in a local recreation gymnasium where it only costs $1 to get in the door to hang out with friends. I hear one of the wind-up music boxes in the background playing My Only Sunshine. I'm like, what is the DJ doing? And just that fast, I hear a loud horn intro come in over the DJ speakers. And bruh, I must have been the only kid out of the loop. because I see a cavalry of girls and boys running to the dance floor like they were about to battle the Roman army. Lord of mercy, there it was. The girls are wilding out on the dance floor, and the boys can't keep their hands off of them. And when that breakdown hit, the DJ might as well have been the band on stage, because the building went crazy like he was the star.
We're here. We're here.
Yeah, man, we're here. The sun is here. And that's the time period where Sun cemented themselves in the mind of the funk community and took a place in the party-going history books. Put that on today and watch the seats go empty. Hey y'all, we gotta look at what in this song actually makes you want to get up and move your body. What in it brings the people to the floor? I'm gonna open up the hood to this Sun Mobile and see what's cooking in this track, Sun is Here. When we listen to it, we have to start with the bass. Back in the day, if there was no bass, no case. On this track, Curtis Hooks is providing the floorboards. The bass is using that signature Dayton thumb and pull style to keep the pocket moving while making the dance floor vibrate from the funk. Man, this is just straight skunky. This is a lick that ain't had a bath in days. Next, you bring in the drums. This was straight pocket, laying down a bed that the people could keep dancing to, even if they didn't like the song. This was a time when the funk beat was distancing itself from disco forward to the floor and becoming the precursor to hip-hop and rap beats. Dude, Kim Yancey was beating those skins like he was trying to get the candy out of a goddamn piñata. Now, it's time for the guys who plug in the funk. Turn up the Changa-lang so the people can feel the grease. Man, Keith Cheatham is chanking like an old man descaling a bucket of fish in the backyard. Yeah, and Sonny Talbot is in the studio helping hold down the rhythm while Byron Byrd overdubs additional guitar layers to thicken that Dayton wall of sound. And here come those stacked horn arrangements. These horns flavored the groove with harmonies and accented the pocket. Most of the band were multi-instrumentalists, so in the studio, almost everybody picked up a horn and blew something. These cats were slapping your ears with that brass and leaving you shell-shocked when the song went off. And before we close the hood, let's see what the vocals were doing stripped down.
You come in numbers to feel a groove.
Off, man, smooth as a stick of butter.
The night feels funky. Your sun is here.
And those harmonies cutting through the mix.
We're here. That's it. We're here. That's it.
They were here all right, and all the parties I was at were happy for that for real. Hey, Byron and the Boys of Sun just had the voices that sounded cool, tight, and in tune.
We were sitting in the dressing room and our manager came in, it was Bo Ray Fleming at the time. And he said, guys, got some great news for you. He says, you guys just won certified gold. And we were like, nice. Well, and I mean, when he said that, I got chills, right? When I got back to the hotel, I called my mom.
Yeah, y'all, Sun is Here hit number 18 on the Billboard R&B chart, proving the band was a certified hit machine. The stage show became just as famous as the records. This is where Byron's engineering background from Wright-Patterson Air Force Base changed the game.
I developed the FM wireless microphone, and I've got credit for the wireless guitar. Be the first band, the first guy to really develop and enhance that technology to work. It was neat, really, leaving the dressing room and marching down the talent show aisles at Roosevelt or Dunbar with no wires, and the sounds are coming from the stage.
By the early 80s, Sun continued to evolve through albums like Destination Sun and Sun Over the Universe, even drawing on Byron's aerospace influences in the music. Though the real Sun eventually set on their charting era by 1984 with the album Eclipse, their legacy is solid as steel. More than just a group, it was a school of musicianship where members like Christopher D. Jones, Dean Hummons, and Sean Sandridge sharpened their blades before forming Dayton. Even elite talent like guitarist Sheldon Reynolds used his tenure with the unit in the early 80s as a springboard to join the Commodores and Earth, Wind and Fire. Today, the story of Sun continues to burn brightly through the enduring influence of the Dayton Sound. While the original Sunburn lineup eventually moved in different directions, their music is a cornerstone of the Funk Music Hall of Fame and Exhibition Center in Dayton, ensuring that the high-energy, brass-heavy grooves of Sun Is Here remain a permanent fixture in the history of American funk.
Yeah, that's Sun, man. The Sun Is Here. That song was just straight funky, man, back in the day. And still is today. Put it on at a party, they're gonna be dancing. I guarantee you that, DJ. Oh, we lost a few of those guys along the way, and some are still here. You got to look that up. The list is so long, man. So many band members and stuff like that to keep up with. But I hope you appreciate this on the Music Mindset channel, and check back the next time. Support the channel in any way you can. It takes a lot of work to do this. Thanks.